This ruined abbey is a great place to take photos, but we're here to try something a little out of the ordinary. We're shooting in broad daylight, but we're going to try to recreate the dark, mysterious tones of moonlight. In real life, moonlight isn't quite as mysterious as it seems. It's simply a very dim form of sunlight. Indeed, moonlight is just sunlight reflected off the moon's surface. If we used a long enough exposure, the scene would actually look as if it was shot in daylight, though anything moving in the scene would blur or simply disappear, since moonlight exposures can extend into many minutes. Our eyes though see moonlight quite differently, and it's this dark and eerie look we're trying to recreate with the camera. To us, moonlight looks blue, and we can simulate that with the camera by deliberately using the wrong white balance setting. Our Nikon DSLR has an incandescent setting designed for indoor lighting, which has a yellow-orange colour. The camera compensates by shifting the tones towards blue. If we use this setting outdoors where the colours start off correct, the blue tinge of the white balance adjustment takes us a step closer to our moonlight effect. But moonlight is also much dimmer than daylight, so to make our pictures look more authentic, we need to reduce the exposure. The easiest way to do this is with the EV compensation control. We can leave the camera on auto exposure, but apply -2 EV compensation to make the pictures darker. We're getting closer, but the effect is not quite right yet. Moonlight to our eyes is mostly blue with only a faint hint of colour. It also has lots of contrast between the brighter parts of the picture and the shadows, which can often disappear into an inky blackness. We can achieve both these things by adjusting the camera's picture controls. You'll find these on the shooting menu, and they include options like landscape, portrait and monochrome. They work by adjusting the picture's contrast, saturation and other properties. But you can also modify any of these preset picture controls. We'll use the neutral picture control for this, since we don't use it much for anything else. If you press right on the multi-selector when the neutral setting is highlighted, you see sliders for each of the settings. We can reinforce our moonlight effect by reducing the saturation value so that it's just 1 notch above 0. And we can boost the contrast to the maximum to try to achieve that authentic moonlight look. If you adjust one of your Nikon's picture controls, an asterisk appears alongside its name to remind you. Don't forget to remove your adjustments or swap back to the standard picture control when you've finished. Finally, we need to darken the sky to complete the illusion of night. For this, we'll use a neutral density graduated filter. We'll start off with the ×2 grad, but we have a ×4 grad here if we need it. We can even use these in combination to effectively get an 8 times grad. We're going for a striking special effect here, so there's no need to be subtle. A super wide angle lens, like a Nikon 12 to 24mm zoom, can also help you find those dramatic angles and perspectives. You'll find some subjects work much better than others for this moonlit effect. Look for pictures with strong compositions, and remember that you're going to see little or no detail in the shadows. Instead, think of the shadows as solid shapes and an integral part of your compositions. This is where your photographer's eye is just as important as your camera skills.